Thank you for being here. It is a pleasure. I need you all to, yeah, if you don't mind, turn that down for me. Let's see. There we go. And we're supposed to be on green. This is already supposed to be done, but obviously you can see it's been one. All right, there we go. Okay. So, oh, I need you all to, yeah, if you don't mind, turn that down for me. Let's see. There we go. And we're supposed to be on green. This is already supposed to be done. Let us pray. This is crazy. It's been one. Yeah, because it's not supposed to be done. Yeah. Okay. So, uh, where is the volume? And then the remote wasn't working. Wait, is it working? Huh? No, those are USB holes. Check, check. All right, I hope that worked. Let's go ahead and get it cracking. Oh, I gotta fix this right quick because I had to move all of this. Nope, it's gonna keep coming through. All right, I hope that works. Let's go ahead and get it cracking. Okay, I'm gonna do my best, y'all. There is no volume. There is no volume button, and the remote is not working. So I don't know what else I can do. I done did everything I could, y'all. This ain't my stuff, so I got it somewhere. We gonna see how it goes. All right, let's get started. Dang, the echo is going to be disturbing. Hmm. Let's. How many people here have a cell phone? Because I'm gonna have to turn this off. It ain't gonna work. They're gonna have to join from the Zoom. Okay. Yeah, y'all gonna have to. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to join from the Zoom. So do me this favor. Go to your email right now. I'm gonna give you an email to email me. I'm gonna email everybody at the same time with the same link. If you haven't already have it, email. Let me know when you're ready. Everybody ready? It's gonna be. Yeah, that's on Zoom. Oh, okay. Yeah. The problem is in here. I'm trying to get this in here for y'all because this ain't popping on and the volume is not working. So email me at maljr at nvhub.net nvhub.net and we'll sorry y'all for online too. Y'all been very patient. Thank you.
So email you?
Yes, email me. Just send me an email that says Zoom link, and I'll send you the Zoom link right now.
What is it again?
Mike maljr at nvhub.net, which is all over your paperwork. nvhub.net. N like new, V like venture, hub.net. And then, yeah, as soon as you email me, I will email everybody. Oh, shucks. I'm going to have to. Okay, I'm going to have to log into my other one. Y'all get that off for me? I'm about to go to that email right now and start replying to everybody. Okay. NV Hub, mailbox, close, view. All right, I have, oh, hold on. Let me try this again. MAL, yep. NVHUB.net. MALJR. MALJR, y'all. MALJR. Yep, it's all over the paperwork. It's all over the documentation that we provided for you. All right. Log in. All right. Thank you for those who did go ahead and Zoom link. You're getting replies now. Gloria, yours is coming now. Renato, yours is coming now. Also, everybody who receives the emails, you receive the Zoom link twice today. I'm sending it now again. All right. And for those online, oh my God, I got something for you. Thank you so much. Oh my God. Okay. All right, everyone has been replied to. Yep, perfect. Everyone's been replied to. Thank you, thank you. Everyone has been replied to. If you have not, let me know. Send a quick email. We're going to get started in the next 60 seconds. All right, I sent out 2 more, and then we'll get started in about 30 seconds. You just for the heads up, we probably won't make the hands-on portion for today, but that's okay. We'll be here for the next few weeks. All right. Okay, we're gonna get cracking here. I'm gonna check the email one more time, make sure no one else is left hanging. Perfect. All right, we're in. So let's get started here, y'all. Thank you for dealing with the hurdles, the bumps. I appreciate you. We're gonna, let me see here. Okay, perfect. So first things first, welcome to Cohort 2. Oh my God, what a start to Cohort 2. So thank you for coming. Thank you for being here in person and online. We've got great opportunities here in store for you. I hope you appreciate the way we laid out this next cohort so we can get you ready, get you in class, and get you ready for your test, okay? We have a really good opportunity for those who got the email and replied. Thank you. The special offer I'm going to go through right now real briefly before we really get cracking. The special offer I have you is this. Going forward, everything we do is going to be test focused. If it's not about the test, we necessarily don't care about it so much because we want to focus on the 60 questions that it requires us to pass that test. Over the next 4 weeks, we have access to at least 150 of the 300 question pool, okay? The pool of questions, all right? The other 150 questions are a combination of weather reading and aerospace reading, aerospace map reading, which means all you need to do is learn how to read weather maps and aerospace maps, which we have pilots who will come and instruct us on those to make sure that by the time they leave, we know how to read aerospace maps and weather maps, okay? So between now and then, we will focus on test questions and answers. For those of you who meet me in the middle, what does meeting me in the middle look like? Meeting me in the middle is you getting your license with me. I'll get my license with you, okay? That wasn't a part of the deal, how we got here today, but it's a part of the deal as we move forward. As we do what we can to build out, create opportunities, and most importantly, get people in the best position to make some money, whether it's with a job or a contract with your own business. The other thing we're going to focus on for the other half, or the about 45 minutes of each course. Here, let me go ahead and get this queued up for us. Bear with me. This is okay, and digital pan, green, okay, and transparent. Okay. Let's see. Okay, here, one second. Sorry, y'all, we having, 1 second, y'all. Okay. This is, invite. Okay, so let's see here. Zoom link. Okay. So who's actually using who was able to use the link that I gave them to get in? Okay. If you use the link that I provided you to get in, if you can't get in, it's not a Zoom thing, it's not a Meet thing. You'll probably have to look at your phone, maybe your settings, download the app, things like that. Best part is, for those in person, everything we're going to cover is in hand. You have it in hand, so that's the best part. So we're going to keep it rolling because we had quite a significant amount of delays, y'all. And again, let me mute this person here. Cyrus, can you mute yourself, please? Oh, you're muted? Okay, cool. I don't know why it's showing you as unmuted. That's fine. Okay. So with that being said, where were we? Where were we? We were here. We were getting it started. Oh, here we go. All right. So with that being said, here's where we are. All right. There we go. All right, we'll fix this up. Make it look good for everybody. All right, so we're gonna cover the syllabus, just so y'all know where we're going, how we're gonna get there. We have transparency. That's the most critical part here, is making sure that we all know where we're going with what we're doing. So with that being said, here's our 4-week guide. We will be, the format is real straightforward. We're gonna have 2 hours going forward. We're gonna focus 75 minutes on the actual test. Your syllabus, you should have a syllabus. It just says it at the very top of the document, my friend. It says syllabus. So you just have to look through your paperwork, sir. So you're gonna go through the 4-week FAA lab, study lab syllabus. Really straightforward. We have 75 minutes, 100 for the part 107. We're gonna focus 45 minutes on hands-on. That's our goal. Okay. The core focus here is to ensure that we have thorough knowledge of the test questions. So we have a lot of questions that have been extracted from various note cards, flashcards, the FAA website itself, so on and so forth. The purpose here is to cut straight through the fat. We want to get to the meat and potatoes. We don't want to have any distractions. We want our focus to be on the actual test itself. The outcomes here are really straightforward. We want you to get your license. If you get your license, my special offer to you is very straightforward. My special offer is, if you get your license, I will work with you. You'll work aside me until we either get you hired at a job or a contract flying that drone with a license, okay? That is my special offer to you. I'll also have my license And so for those who have trouble, for example, getting hired, not a problem. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out together. Our weekly schedule is really straightforward as well. Bear with me here. We are going to focus on, again, the materials specific to passing. So we won't have any fluff. The last 2 weeks, week 3 and 4. Week 3 we'll focus on mapping. Week 4 as well, we'll focus on mapping. By the time we learn mapping, we won't have a question about mapping, which will help us with at least a third of the test. Again, there are 60 test questions that we have to understand. That's it, and get right on the test, okay? We have a pool of 300 that we're going to have questions pulled from. We're going to do as much as we can to cover all those questions in the next 3 weeks. With that being said, just so you know, the accuracy in our sources here are coming straight from the FAA and or study materials that are third party. As you see, as we move forward, you'll see kind of how that is going to be laid out here for you. So with that being said, we are going to flow into our next the next portion, which is we're going to be covering the next, pretty much I would say the next document you can prepare will be the, I'll get you the name here, just 1 second. Transparency, boom, okay, boom. All right, and boom. All right, so there, you should have another handout, which is a study lab notes. Should be pretty thick handout. There you go. Should have a teal at the top. It should be study lab test questions. So here's the way this is designed to work. Ultimately, here, let me pull up this so you can see it with me in the folder.
Everybody don't have their study lab.
We have the part 107 study lab day 1.
Study lab day 1. Yep. Yep. Perfect. That's what you need. Yep. Anybody else need one that does not have one? Okay, we got it. We'll get you one in a minute. All right, bear with me. Thank you, my friend. All right. So, real quick, before we do get too deep into the weeds, here is everyone who was emailed and registered ahead of time was sent invitation to the shared folder. The shared folder it will be called NVHUB AI Study Lab. If you haven't received that yet, because you just sent your email today, you'll receive it between tonight and sometime Friday. When you go in there, you'll get here to Cohort 2, and you'll go right here to Part 107 Study Lab. All your documents will be in here. Everything you're going to need to look for will be in here, and all the things you'll need to reference for this entire course study lab will be found in here. Okay. The must reads are there, but again, for those online, this is the document that you want to pull out. And the way this has been designed is really straightforward. I'm going to have note cards on the screen. I'm going to read those note cards. Those note cards come with questions and answers. Here's all you got to do. We're going to tap into all your senses. So you're going to hear me ask a question. You're going to hear the answer. You're going to see the answer. The only thing you have to do now is what? Based on that document in front of you, is write it down. That's all you got to do now. That's all you got to do now. Okay, for the next 4 weeks, this is how we're going to run it. We're going to focus on the answers, focus on the questions, and make sure we embed that into our minds, just for at least enough time to go and get this license, okay? Okay, so any questions so far before we proceed? And let me check online as well. Actually, Josh, can I get you to keep an eye on the chat? Just in case anything comes in for me. I appreciate you. All right, so we're going to press forward. And here we go. This is where we start, and this is where we end. Bear with me. I want to make sure it looks good for us so we're not all discombobulated. Now, for those of you who are returning, I have to take accountability with you. We should be able to go and take this test in the next 4 weeks or less, okay? So, question 1, as we get into this. The first question is, how many questions are in the initial Part 107 test? We already know because I've mentioned it 5 times, 60. There are 60 questions in that test. You have to have how many to pass? What percentage is required to pass? 70%. How many can you get wrong? If you need a 70% to pass, how many can you get wrong? You can get 30% of it wrong to pass. You have 60 questions. How many questions is that? How many? Up to 15 questions, is that right?
18.
Thank you. 18. Yes, sir. So is that a good wiggle room for us?
Yes.
Absolutely. So we should get like 80%, for real. Okay, so let's keep going down. Let's keep going. Hold on. There we go. So now you know, real quick, make sure if it's not in the answer bank, you write it in yourself. For the ones that are multiple choice, make sure you circle it and go back and study. The whole point of this is for you to have your own self-made study document. Let's go down to the next question. What score do you need to pass? 70%. Okay, so that means how many do you have to get correct? 42. Because it's 18. Yep. Mathematician over here. Did some good math pretty quick. Thank you, sir. All right. So now, what is CFR Part 107? CFR Part 107 applies to registration, airman certification, and operations of civil small UAS and in the United States. And there are exceptions. So if it asks you, does 14 CFR Part 107 have exceptions? Do you say yes? Yes. And if you feel lost, don't worry. Take it for truth, because what we're doing is we're pulling from the federal documentation. So it's not like, if you mix these two colors together, what do you get? This is the answer because that's what they said. This is the best way to format everything going forward. That's what they said, that's the answer. All right, moving down. Next question, what does Part 107 apply? When does Part 107 apply? Part
Small UAS operations, unless the operation fails under the listed exemptions such as 49 USC 44809 limited recreational operations.
So Part 107 generally applies to civil small UAS operations unless the operation falls under a listed exemption. A listed exemption could be like you're a recreational user and you're going to be flying at your barn in the back of your farm, and you don't have to have a license because you're not going above 400 feet. You don't have any airports around you. You don't have any people around you, and there are exceptions, okay? Moving on to the next one. Oh, by the way, there will be, as you can see at the bottom of each page, it does say stop here, because we want to refresh. We want to do a quick refresh every time we stop and move forward. All right. What is the quick test for commercial purpose? A flight with direct or indirect business purposes should be treated as Part 107 unless another legal authority applies. So what does this mean? It means, the question is, what is the quick test to know if you are doing something commercial with a drone? How do you know if you're operating commercially? You're about to make money. You're about to do business, whether it be indirectly or directly, okay? Anytime you want to make money, anytime you want to fly in a city, anytime you want to fly above 400 feet, anytime you want to fly nearer to an airport, you have to have a Part 107. You're now considered commercial activity. Okay, going down. Oh. 1 second. There we go. All right. Okay, going down the list. What is an unmanned aircraft? An unmanned aircraft is operated without the possibility of direct human intervention. That's a drone. An unmanned aircraft is the scientific name for drone. Unmanned aircraft means it's being remote operated, and there's no person inside. And there's no intervention from within. So the drones we flew last at the end of our last cohort, no one could fit inside there. It was completely remote operated. Therefore, it is an unmanned aircraft. Moving right along. Next question. What? Oh, sorry. Sorry, those online. I can't see that. I didn't see that. There we go. Okay. Next question. So for those online, oh, I'm sorry. What is a small unmanned aircraft? A small unmanned aircraft weighs. So this is the characteristics. It says what makes up a small unmanned aircraft? Well, what makes up a small unmanned aircraft is that the fact that the aircraft is unmanned, it weighs less than 55 pounds on takeoff, including everything. That includes the camera, the propellers, the engine itself, everything. If you're doing window washing with the drone, it has to weigh 55 pounds or under at takeoff. If you're doing agricultural crop dusting, it has to be 55 pounds or under at takeoff with everything on board or otherwise attached to the aircraft, meaning it could be appendage, it could be an add-on, it could be a bassinet, it could be something that you attach to the drone itself, but altogether it cannot weigh more than how much? 55 pounds. Perfect. Because real quick, at takeoff, because it could get heavy after takeoff. You could get weatherization on it, like ice and water, and that'll make something heavy by itself, okay? Heavier by itself. All right, moving right along. And then I need y'all to stop me when it says stop, because I don't have that up in front of me. All right. What counts towards the 55-pound limit? The answer is the full takeoff weight includes everything on board or that's attached to the aircraft. So what counts towards the 55-pound limit? Everything on the drone, including the drone itself, including what makes the drone, including what you're using it for, all counts toward that cap, 55 pounds or under. Okay. Any questions so far? Yes, sir.
What if you're at threshold and there's a difference between weight because of the pressure?
He's-
I mean, like, you're like at 54 and you're like, yeah, I'm willing to fly my drone, but it's a colder area, maybe there's condensation.
Yeah, so the question for those online, the question was, what happens if you're right at the cap? If the limit is 55 pounds and you weigh 54 pounds, are you under 55?
Yeah, yes.
You can take off. Remember, a lot of what we have to consider is safety first. So if we're gonna take off and we're not comfortable, even though we're 54 pounds, and let's just say it's gonna get cold, so we know we might get ice, then we're gonna be heavier. Are you comfortable with that?
No.
Then you shouldn't take off. Versus the next guy who might say, hey, I'm okay with that. I've flown with the ice on the wing tips. I'm okay. But it's your call, because remember, your decision comes, and whether it's good or bad, comes back to who?
The
Pilot yes. Pilot in command. The pilot in control of the controller. Yeah, PIC, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, what is a small UAS? Well, it says right here very clearly, a small UAS is an unmanned aircraft that its associated elements include communication links, control components needed for safe and efficient operations. So, communication is your GPS, your wireless signal. Your control components are what? How are you controlling? What are you using? Using a remote. Yes, you're using a remote. So, what is a small UAS? Well, a small UAS is, it says right here, I want to clear it out. It's a small unmanned aircraft and its associated elements. And I'm giving you what is in the FAA. I'm telling you verbatim what they have written so that we don't have any confusion when we look at the test. All right, next question. Oh, yes, go ahead. Take your time. Take your time. Write it down, and please feel free to slow me down. I want to set a pace. I'm happy to slow up though.
You could screenshot it too.
Oh yeah, you could screenshot if you want, but the best part is this will be in your share folder once we finish class today. Okay? So don't worry. Oh yeah, well that's the TV is usually what we use. Yeah. Yes, sir. What you got?
The test include all those details, like what if it says half of that? It just says elements including communication. It doesn't say links, control components.
So the question was, what if the test doesn't have the entire length of the answer? Well, guess what? We know the full answer. So even if it asks us a portion of it, we know the full answer. That's what this is dedicated to. So that even if that does come up, we have an answer. We know the answer. And as you'll see going forward, there will also be a day where we just do statements. We don't do Q&A. We just do true statements so that we can remember the facts.
Oh, true and false?
No.
Oh,
No questions.
okay.
We just straight to the answer. We just gonna remember the facts. That's it. So in this case, what's a small UAS?
Unmanned aircraft.
It's an unmanned aircraft,
Associated components, including communication.
including so it has antennas. It's able to use a remote. It has a camera. It's small and it's unmanned. All right, let's move on to the next one. Okay, Part 107, unmanned aircraft must remain below the maximum UAS limit, weight limit of 55 pounds. And that's just, so you're starting to see the statements now. This is the statements part. I'm mixing this stuff in so that we can have various ways to look at the facts. Okay, so 107 unmanned aircraft must remain under 55 pounds, maximum limit. And when does this weight have to be confirmed? At takeoff, correct. Next question. Who needs a remote pilot certificate? No person may manipulate flight controls under Part 107 unless directly supervised by a remote pilot in control, pilot in command, or holding the required certificate. So, who needs a remote pilot certificate? Anyone who may operate under the Part 107 rules unless they are directly supervised by a remote pilot and control. So someone who already has a Part 107 license. So you cannot use a drone technically, okay, unless you're falling in very small parameter like recreation, away from aerospace, away from the airport, away from people, no people under you. And then you have to be at designated parts, okay? Outside of that, you can't use it. So the question is, can you really use it? Yes, but it's very limited. So you want to have the license not only to fly safely, but to also make money. All right, moving on to the next question. How old do you have to be to hold the license? So young people, tell me. I told y'all when y'all came in. Thank you. 16. Got to be 16. Got to be 16. But guess what? You can fly it before you're 16, legally. You have to be 13. You can fly a drone legally at 13, recreational. Okay, so y'all 13-year-olds can get ready for flight. What's up, brother? Your hands up? Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate your assistance. I appreciate you. Okay, so let's go back to the top. Go back to the top. And we're going to roll through. Wait, let me make sure I didn't skip a part.
There was one after 10.
All right, perfect.
It was a statement that it's not in there, or unless
Yeah, who needs
it,
it?
right?
Right here?
Am I tweaking?
The statement?
Yeah.
Yeah. So these are, I'm throwing those in there because those aren't questions. Those are just straight facts. Like I said, there's no true false. We're not here to make it confusing. We want to make it as easy and straightforward as possible. Collectively, too. Collectively. So, where were we? Stop here, right? All right, let's go ahead. Let's answer these questions before moving on. What makes a flight Part 107 instead of recreational?
It's usually
If it's used commercially, yes. For business, whether it be direct or indirect, correct. Okay, what counts towards the 55-pound small small UA limit?
Everything on board and everything attached.
Everything on board, everything attached, and what else? No, the remote's not attached to it.
And the drone itself.
The drone, yes, the drone itself. That's all I was waiting for, the drone itself. Yep. So the drone itself, all its components and any attachments make up have to make up the 55-pound weight limit. Before anything over 55 pounds, can you take off?
No.
No, you cannot. Okay. If you are at 55 pounds when you take off and you come back, you're 60. Or were you legal?
Yes.
Yes, you were, because you left at what? 55. Perfect. Perfect. Who needs a remote pilot certificate?
Pilot in command.
Anybody who's gonna be on the drone, gonna fly a drone.
Anyone who's looking to fly a drone,
Non-recreational.
non-recreational,
And
and yeah, you have to fly below 400 feet, yes. Well below. But remember, the Part 107, so here's the thing. If you don't have a Part 107 license, you can't even be close to 400 feet. You can't even be, really, you can't technically be above a building. Yeah, like this, the height of this building, about 30, 40 feet is about as high as you can actually get before you might start looking at trouble. Yeah, because you'll start having stuff in the air. You have, remember, you can't fly next to the city without the city permission. We right by the city, right? You can't fly by aerospace. We're not too far from Nellis, right? So there's a bunch of things you have to consider, and yes, very good considerations, good thoughts. We'll just learn more as we go. Okay, question 4. What is the test day passing score? What do you need to pass this?
70%.
What is the number? How many do you need to pass? 42 questions. And how many questions are there? 60 questions. Perfect. Okay. What is the difference between an unmanned aircraft and a small UAS? What is the difference between an unmanned aircraft and a small UAS?
The drone what is the unmanned is no person can fit on it. It's just the drone.
Operating without the possibility of
Oops.
direction or directing.
They have to be less than 55 pounds. But upon taking off, the unmanned means that there's no person on it.
There's no person on the unmanned.
And it has to be 55 pounds or less, or under to take off.
So what is the question? I'm tripping here.
Drone.
What is the difference between the? Oh, go ahead.
Question,
We turned
is
it.
there any difference, on the weight restrictions for the unmanned aircraft and the small unmanned aircraft?
Is there? Yep, perfect. Good. Here, 1 second. Let's get you. Let's do it like this. 1 second. Sorry, y'all. Bear with me. Okay, so real quick. So the unmanned, your unmanned is simply a physical flying vehicle itself, while the UAS is a small unmanned aircraft. So what we're talking about here is 2 different sizes of equipment. And the higher you go up with UAS, the more drones you get access to. The 55 pounds is nothing. You know, their drones are hundreds of pounds when you start to go up into your certificate. When you go from G and you start going to D and E, etc., you'll actually fly unmanned. So the difference is that for Part 107, you're flying the small unmanned aircraft. For what we're doing, it's a small unmanned aircraft. Okay? So that's the difference. Is unmanned could be as big as a semi truck. It's a drone. It's a big, you can think of military drone, versus what we're looking at is about this big, size of a sandwich. Little toy, yeah. A toy that'll make you some real good money though. And then your question, sir?
Is there any difference on weight restrictions between the unmanned aircraft and the small unmanned?
Yes,
aircraft?
absolutely. Absolutely. Again, the small unmanned, where we're focusing on is 55 and under. And then so unmanned can go 55 and military. You know what I'm saying? 55 and around the world.
QL said something.
You're right.
On the chat.
Oh, okay, hold on.
He said basically anything over 55 pounds.
Pretty much. Yeah. Pretty much anything over. Thank you for that, Josh.
Unmanned aircraft equal anything above 55?
Technically, yeah, because remember, we want to focus on what we need to know, and we don't need to know anything about unmanned. If it ain't small, it ain't in our wheelhouse. So that's a critical thing to remember. Small versus unmanned. We just remember it's a toy. That's what we're talking about. What's up, Yoshi? You have a question? Oh, okay. All right, let's move forward. Oh, any more questions? We good there? Okay, let's rock and roll. All right, next page for you all on your docs there. Does the remote pilot certificate expire? Anybody remember that off the top of their head?
Yeah.
It does expire. How long? Well, technically no, but 2 years. You have 2 years to renew it. So the certificate is permanent unless revoked. So you can keep it forever. You can keep it forever. The difference is you have to keep it updated. So every 2 years you have to go and do what? Recertify. So, but the pilot must maintain aeronautical knowledge, redundancy to exercise the privileges. So you have to know the rules, you have to know the policies, the laws of Part 107 CFR. Next, how often must a Part 107 knowledge currency be renewed? So how often do you have to renew this? Every 24 months, every 2 years. Yes, every 2 years. So you have to renew it every 2 years, but it doesn't expire. Sounds weird, don't it?
Well, isn't it just like a car registration? Your license plate never expire, but the stickers do? So your number stays forever until you revoke your license plate?
I would do this. I would try to make it as simple as possible, bro. I would try to keep it as succinct as possible. When we start considering the what ifs, it just starts to take us on a different route. So we want to focus on this right here. All we got to remember is that it never expires, and what? You have to renew it how often? Every 24 months. That's what you want to hold on to, bro. That's what you want to hold on to. I'm doing everything I can to keep this as focused on the direction. The rest of the stuff will come after we get our license. We can go back and forth all day long. Okay, next question. How can a remote pilot renew knowledge currency? Well, go get trained. Stay trained up. FAA website. Get registered so you can get on their newsletters, so you can keep up to date with the new laws, the new rules that they release. The answer to this question is current FAA guidance allows certificate holders to complete online recurrent training to maintain aeronautical knowledge. What you do is you register with the FAA. We have a process for that. We'll go through it another time, but you stay registered. You take your online proficiency test, and you keep moving, and you're renewed. Next question. How long do you have to report an address change to the FAA? According to the FAA, you have a remote pilot may not exercise certificate privileges after 30 days from a permanent mailing address change unless the FAA has been notified. Okay? So you have 30 days to notify the FAA of your address change. All right? Next question. Going down the list. Where do you register a drone for Part 107? Well, you go right to FAA Drone Zone. Go to Google and go to Drone Zone. This is the official FAA registration portal. Okay, avoid unofficial third-party registration sites, which means what? If it's not the FAA, are you going to register there?
No.
For what exactly? No, you're not. Don't get caught up in the scams, okay? Going to the next question. How long is FAA registration valid? Part
48 small.
Part 48 small UAS registration is valid for 3 years unless renewed. So it never expires. Just like I said, you just have to accept what they tell you. It never expires. You have to renew it every 2 years. It'll be valid up to 3 years if you don't renew it. You see all the if-thens there? Okay, so I'm gonna say that one more time. It never expires. You have 24 months to renew it, or to make it current. 24 months. Every 24 months you make it valid again, and it will expire after 3 years if you do nothing. Isn't that weird? But it is what it is. All right, next question. Where must the registration number be displayed on your drone? Anybody remember?
Physically visible.
Physically visible all times. Side, front, back, got to be visible. Some people laser print it on there. Some people get that real good sticker and write it on there. Some people use permanent marker. The registration number must be displayed on the exterior surface of the aircraft to be readily accessible, legible, and durable. Must be durable. So if it rains and it rubs off and it lands and they want to check your drone, whose fault is it that the marker smudged off? It's our fault, the pilot in command. Okay. All right. Next question. What proof of registration should be available? What proof of registration should be available? The operator should have aircraft registration certificate available during all operations. Best practice is both digital and a printable backup. So when you're out on your missions, you have a folder, everything will be in your folder. You just open up your binder, there's your license, there's your mission plan for the day, your flight plan, your mapping, everything you're gonna need for weather, it's all in there. This is where you wanna have your registration. Print it up, and you can have it on your phone, your email, whatever, Google Drive, whatever have you. Next question. What must the remote PIC have when exercising certificate privileges? The remote PIC must have the remote pilot certificate with a small UAS rating and identification in physical possession and readily accessible when exercising certificate privileges. So, what must the remote PIC have when exercising certificate privileges? What does that mean? What must the remote pilot have when out there flying their drone? What must you got to have all your documentation. Your registration, identification, yes sir, correct. Certificate privilege, so you have everything back into that what? To that binder folder. It's perfect. You keep it all in one place, you never got to look for it. Okay, moving on to the next. Any questions on that? We good? Moving right along. Who is the remote pilot in command? The remote pilot in command is the person directly responsible for and has a final authority as to the operation of the small UAS. So who is the remote pilot in command? The person who is directly responsible for that small UAS flying around and operating. That would be you. Here's a fact statement. The remote pilot in command is responsible for safe operating condition. The remote pilot in command must ensure the small UAS is in the condition for safe operation and must discontinue flight if it's not safe. So what does that mean? That means you have to do a pre-flight check. Make sure your propellers are all tightened. Make sure there's no cracks in your arms on the drone, right? Make sure your camera is working. Make sure your GPS connects to your drone. Anybody know why? If your drone flies off or it gets lost to the wind and you have it connected to the GPS, guess what happens? Not only will you be able to find it, what's the other thing it can do? What'd you say? It'll return home. Yes, sir, young man. Correct. Your your drone has a feature, most of them, that you can set the coordinates and you can have it return anywhere you want. Okay? So just remember that. The key is though, it won't fly it can only fly as long as what's working?
Battery.
My guy, the battery. Yes. So you got to have enough charge. Okay? Perfect. Say it again?
Solar panel.
Yeah, that'd be good, right? And build one in, so you just go. Yeah. Okay. You might have to go. You might have to do that with my friend. I'll be a customer. Pre-flight check, and we just talked about this. Pre-flight inspection must happen before the flight. Prior to flight, the remote pilot in command must assess the environment and ensure required systems, power, control links, and carried attached objects are safe for the intended operation. So, if you have a drone and you have a drone with a basket and you have eggs in the basket and the eggs are wobbly, are you safe? No. But wait, the basket is attached, it's secured. Am I safe? No, because why? Because my contents are not secured. Yes. So do I fly? If I'm already in the air, what do? I bring them back. So you got to have the pre-flight. This is why you need that binder. Get that folder. Check your. Did you get the email for the Gmail? Okay, we got to get you set up. So everybody who wants access to the folder, you have to use a Gmail account. Okay? Okay.
It doesn't
All right.
let you just view it?
It won't let you even view it. Gmail don't even let you see nothing. They just say, hey, you don't got no email. For us, we can't help you. Which makes it harder for me to help you. Okay. No, don't forget, tell me when to stop. Okay, next question. Can a non-certified person fly under Part 107?
Yes.
A person may manipulate the controls if under the what? Direct supervision of who? The certified pilot in control. Gotta have the remote. So, for the big brother over here, when you're hanging out with your little bros and something goes wrong, you have to be able to snatch that controller out their hand in the moment's eye, which I'm sure you do when you're playing the game anyway. So, you have skills with that. You're very conditioned. You know what to do when it's time to do it. I trust that that's true because I'm sure it is. All right. So, with that being said, you are already ready, my friend, to take control of one of your little bros flying a drone. Like, oh, I got to fix it. And that's all you got to do. Okay? So now you know the answer. So a non-certified person can fly, correct?
Yes.
But under what condition?
Supervised by a certified PI.
Next to one of you. Okay. I love it. Let's go. Next question. What is a visual observer? Yep, the visual observer is the person that's designated to do what? To help the PIC, assist the PIC and the person controlling or the person manipulating the controls to see and avoid other air traffic and other things aloft and other things on the ground.
Any bystanders.
Let's just stop here?
see-
Okay.
yeah.
So, the visual observer is a part of your team. That's a part of your crew. Okay? So, Big Bro at 17 can go and get his license, open up a business, and have little bros visually observing. You watch this, you watch for that. I gotta fly this thing. That's how that works, okay? You have one watching for power lines and birds. You got one watching for people and airplanes. That's it, okay? So, the visual observer is there to assist in helping to see and avoid air traffic, objects aloft, or people and things on the ground. All right? All right, here we go. Before we move on,
Number 20, I would like to go back to number 20.
let's see. Number 20.
What proof of registration should be available?
What proof of registration should be available is all your documentation. So you're gonna need, here, let me go back to that. Here you go. I got it on the Zoom. So the registration for the aircraft, certificate, and then you want to have it either you want to have them both, digital and printed. Kind of like insurance or just your ID. And you're gonna have ID.
Okay.
So her question was real quick. She says, what proof of registration should be available? The operator should have the aircraft registration certificate available during operations. Best practice is to keep it both digital and printed. Okay. Next question. Next question. Okay, here we go. How often must knowledge currency be renewed? Every how often? 24 months. Why is it not 3 years?
Because that means it expired, you didn't do nothing on that.
Okay. Why is it? Why, okay. So.
And it's never expired.
Okay. Yeah. It never expires. It has to be renewed every 2 years. And when does it expire if you don't renew it? After 3 years. There we go. Okay. What?
When the aircraft registration expires too.
Say it again.
Or when the aircraft registration expires.
No, because you can still fly someone else's.
Okay.
Yep. You can still if the employer has one. Let's say all your drones is just expired because you ain't recertify them, but your job has certified. You good as long as the aircraft itself and you are valid, then you're good.
Okay, because it says in here on the C part of the answer, it expires when the aircraft registration expires.
Where are you?
3 years, that's after 3 years.
This is for the knowledge. This is for the knowledge.
The remote pilot certificate.
This is number 13, sir, that's what it is.
13.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. So let me clarify. Those are 3 options. Those are Those are options. So those are multiple. So you have one question with multiple answers, and you choose the best answer of the 3. Yes, that's why I was wondering. I was like, wait, what did I miss? So yes, so that's what it's just to clarify real quick. Where it is blank, the idea is that you write it in. Where I have the options, it would be too much for you to write, so you just choose the correct answer. Okay, and I apologize for not making that clear, if I had not already. Okay, where must the registration? So real quick, to clarify what we were just talking about, before we move forward, and keep an eye on the chat for me, y'all. How often must the knowledge currency be renewed? It must be renewed every 24 months. If you don't renew it in 24 months, how long do you have until it expires, in quote?
3 years.
3 years. Perfect. Thank you very much. Okay. Where must the registration number be displayed on the drone? Front, side, back, left, right, however I can see it. Now, if it rubs off, is that acceptable?
No.
So it has to be permanent.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. What proof of registration should be available? Right here. What proof of registration should be available since you asked the question?
The recertification certificate, the document, your ID, and digital and printed, you have to have.
Digital and printed. So you want to have your certification, you want to have your your aircraft registration.
The vehicle too.
It is a vehicle technically, yeah. But you want to have, anyway. So you want to have your aircraft certificate
And ID.
and your ID, and you want to have it both digital and printed. All right. Next question. Who is the remote PIC? Who's the remote PIC?
We are certified.
When you're certified, you got your license. But who is that person? That person is following what? Part 107. There we go. Okay. And then, next question. Can a non-certified person manipulate the controls?
Yes.
Yes. Under what condition?
Only
Under supervision.
Only under supervision of who?
certified.
PIC. All right. Let's move right along. Any questions before we continue? All right. We're doing real good, y'all. We're doing real good. And for those of you online, I know some of y'all are different time zones. If you're still up, thank you for hanging. Thank you for hanging. Thank you for hanging. Much respect to you. All right. Moving right along. Is the visual observer required for every part of 107 flight? The Part 107 allows solo operation. A visual observer must be used to support visual line of sight, VLOS, and hazard scanning, but is not universally required. What does this mean? Just side note. Anybody want to take a stab at this? Yes.
It means it depends on the site that you're working on.
There we go. It means it depends. And then who determines what matters most? And that the pilot determines what matters most. So if you have a visual observer, but you only have one, and you can't see in certain areas, do you think you might need two?
Yes.
And then should you have two? Yes. Right? Because if something happens and you don't have an extra observer, what happened? Whose fault is it? The pilot in control. Yeah, you got to be able to see, got to have eyes. Okay, perfect. All right, next question. How many drones can one person operate at the same time under Part 107? A person may not act as a remote PIC, VO, or person manipulated controls for more than one unmanned aircraft at a time. One at a time. One at a time. One at a time. All right, next question. When may the remote PIC deviate from Part 107 rules? Well, the FAA says a remote pilot can deviate from Part 107 to the extent necessary to meet in-flight emergencies requiring immediate action, which means what? Give you an example. You're already at 400 feet. Something's about to happen. Can you go above 400 feet if you have to be safe?
Yes.
To avoid the accident, to avoid a situation? Absolutely. So what does that mean? It depends. It truly depends, but ultimately, when you can deviate from the rules when it needs to be, when it requires emergencies and it require immediate action, you can deviate from the rules. Okay, next question. What must Part 107 safely, when, thank you, when must Part 107 safety event be reported to the FAA? Something happens.
Serious injury and loss of consciousness.
Anytime, essentially, the remote PIC must report no later than 10 days after an operation resulting in serious injury, loss of consciousness, or damage to property, other than the aircraft, if repair cost or fair market value exceed $500. So, if you have an accident that exceeds $500, if you have an incident where there's consciousness loss, someone got hit in the head, they got hit in the leg, and they bleeding, whatever it is, you have no later than 10 days. So 14 days pass, are you good?
No.
You got a problem. What's up?
So that's on the side that you damage, like in a work site, you hit somebody. What if you damage your drone because someone else caused the accident? And
Then that
exceeds the $500.
then they need to be they have to report it within that 10 days. You can also report it, but that's a whole different situation because you have to probably file a claim, right, against that.
But it's not following. Okay, I see what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Yep. So for this question, when must a Part 107 safety event be reported? A safety event is something that happened. There's a crash, there's an incident. Yes.
So basically, in this case, we're talking about like if we cause any damages with our drone.
Yes. If you cause damage to your drone, you have to report the incident. Yes, sir, that is correct. And you have within 10 days to do so. If there's any serious injury, someone lost consciousness, or if the damages exceeded how much? Okay, perfect. Let's keep it moving. Do you have to, let's just say real quick, if you crash your drone, do you have to report it?
No.
No, you don't.
You know?
No.
What if you cause damages to another person?
Now, if he crashed your drone and you hit me in the head, do you have to report it? Yes, but if you just crash it into a floor or something else, you know, a quiet car, I don't know, right? If something happens, you have to, it's still your choice to report it. Legally, you're supposed to, okay? But legally, you're supposed to. You got 10 days. Let's go. Rocking down, rock and rolling. Part 107 accident reporting is required after specified serious events. Report to the FAA no later than how many? 10 calendar days. After an operation involving serious injury, loss of consciousness or property damage, at least how much? $500. Okay, excluding damage, okay, that doesn't include the damage to your drone. That means your drone is done pretty much and you caused $500 or more worth of damage. All right? Okay, next question. What is the maximum ground speed under Part 107? 100 miles an hour, equivalent to 87 knots. Ground speed may not exceed 87 knots, which equals approximately 100 miles an hour. Are there drones that go fast as 100 miles an hour or more? Yeah. Can you be flying those? No. There we go. Well, you can. There's stipulations. Let's put it like that. But for now,
How do they know?
You can fly them, but do not exceed that speed.
you can fly them, don't exceed the speed. You said, how do you know? Because when you're flying the drones, and those kind of drones in particularly, you have it has your speed dial on your screens. Yeah, you'll have the speedometer. You have the altimeter too, so you can know how high you are. But yeah, it'll tell you how fast you're going, and you can.
I mean, for example, let's say I do that on accident. If I take it on training.
Oh, you can't. You can't fly 100 miles an hour on accident.
Yeah. You don't notice it.
Yeah, there ain't no way. There's no way. Yeah, it's just not happening. It ain't happening.
55 is fast.
And remember, all the new drones have what on them? For those in the last class, huh? No, no,
They have emergency.
Oh, you
No.
know the GPS?
no. Oh, close, real close.
Like a heads-up display.
It's a federal FAA requires
Yes.
all the new drones to have what on them?
Oh, I know what it is, because I heard it was used.
They're all connected to what?
No.
Drone.
They
Big
connected
brother.
to where people are watching.
Yes. Who said that?
Big brother.
Yes. But so drone zone.
Yes.
Okay, so all of the drones now that you buy will come with tracking, remote identification, remote ID. They all have remote ID. So no matter where you are in the sky, guess who knows where you are?
Big brother.
There we go. All right.
Oh,
Okay.
that's why they just continue the DJI, right?
Amongst other things.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So we got that. Okay. Moving on. Next question. What is the normal maximum altitude under Part 107? Everybody knows. 400 feet is the ceiling. Okay. 400 feet is your ceiling. Okay. Small unmanned aircraft may not be flown higher than 400 feet above ground level unless the structure exception applies. Which means what? For y'all who have not or do not know yet, this information is in the diagrams in your share folder that I've provided for you. But ultimately what they're saying is if the building is 200 feet tall, I'm sorry, excuse me, talking about the ceiling here. So if the building is 400 feet tall, okay, that's the only time you can go above 400 feet to get over that structure, okay? That's the exception. Statement, true statement here, fact statement. A discovered defect must stop the flight until safety is restored. A defect or unsafe condition is discovered. If you find this, do not fly until the issue is corrected and the small UAS is in condition for safe operation. That's that part of that, what is it called? Before you fly, what's it called? Pre-flight inspection. Pre-flight inspection. Just like a pilot, gotta do the pre-flight check. I'm sure y'all heard it on the plane, right? All right, we're gonna do our pre-flight check here. Everybody just sit back, we'll be ready soon, right? Y'all heard that, right?
Yeah.
Yep, so now you the pilot, and you got your VOS, your VLOS, your team, your VOs, you tell everybody just be patient, you're gonna do your flight check, and we'll be off the ground shortly, okay? Next question, or statement, excuse me. Manned aircraft have right-of-way over drones. The unmanned aircraft must yield to the right-of-way of all aircraft, airborne vehicles, and launch re-entry vehicles. So you are on the lowest part of the total pole. If you drive a car, okay, and you have a big semi behind you, between those two vehicles, who has more responsibility? The semi. Okay, you're driving your car and you're behind a biker. Who has more responsibility? You in the car. The person on the bike is behind someone walking. Who has more responsibility? The person on the bike. Okay, in this case, you are the person walking. You cannot get in nobody's way. If the bike hits you, it's your fault. If the car hits you, it's your fault. If the semi hits you, whose fault it is? It's your fault. Okay, and I'm using those vehicles as an analogy for things in the sky. Planes, birds, buildings. Yeah. If you skydivers, whatever you have to yield to everything in the sky. Okay, unless it requires an emergency maneuver where you can make exceptions. All right, let's keep going. Let me know when to stop too. I don't have the sheet in front of me. Okay, what is the minimum flight visibility? What is the minimum flight visibility? Minimum flight visibility is, as observed from the control station, must be no less than 3 statute miles. If you can't see 3 statute miles, can you fly? Because you have to have that or more. There we go. Next question. What is the easy cloud clearance memory phrase? Memorize this. 500 feet below the clouds and 2,000 feet horizontally from the clouds. 500 feet below the clouds, 2,000 feet horizontally from the clouds. Okay, I'll say it one more time. 500 feet below the clouds and 2,000 feet horizontally from the clouds. 500 feet from the clouds below, and then 2,000 feet left and right. Oh, well, technically it's like all the directions this way, but it's horizontal. So horizontally, how many feet do we need away from clouds?
2,000.
If the cloud's above us, how far below do we have to be? Okay, I don't think you'll forget that. I won't either. What is required for night operations under Part 107? Part 107 night operations require the remote pilot to meet training requirements and small UAS to have lighted anti-collision lighting, visible for at least 3 statute miles. So when do you check your lighting? What's it called? Pre-flight inspection. Correct. So you're gonna make sure what's working. Anti-collision lights. That's required under Part 107. How far does your lights have to be visible from? Thank you. And what is considered the minimum flight visibility? 3 statute miles. How far below a cloud do you have to be to fly? And how far horizontally?
2,000.
Oh man, y'all learning something today. About to go get our license. I can't wait.
Yeah.
All right. How long after drinking? Oh, young people don't answer this question, okay? But know the question and the answer. All right. How long after drinking alcohol must a remote pilot in control, in command, wait before flying?
12 hours.
8. 8 hours. Okay. A person may not act or attempt to act as a crew member, so that also includes who? Who's your crew? The VO, visual observer. So can you, when you pulled up, Josh came to help you, you're like, man, how was your night? He's like, man, we went to sleep at 4 o'clock, man. It's 8:30. Right, go back to sleep, right? Sleep it off, take a break, right? Okay, and that applies to the remote pilot and control and command as well, okay? All right, let's keep going. What is remote ID? We covered it a little bit earlier. Remote ID provides identification and location information that helps the FAA, law enforcement, and others identify that drone in flight. So this is why it is very, very important to set your flight and your missions, to study your mission, research your mission. Make sure that you get the right approval ahead of time. Make sure the weather is good. Check your weather mapping, right? Check the almanac for the weather for the last 10 years on that day in that window of time you want to go and fly. I'm serious, okay? And then who do you charge back for all that time? The client, that's right. Charge the client back, okay. Very good. Next question. What airspace requires prior authorization under Part 107? excuse me, 107.41 requires prior ATC authorization in Class B, C, and D within the lateral boundaries of the surface area of Class E airspace designated for an airport. We're not going to get into the details. Write it down, remember it, forget it after you pass the test, okay? All right. Yeah, right?
Stop.
Oh, stop? Okay. Let's go ahead and cover this. Let's go ahead and cover this. Okay. Answer these questions from memory before we move on. Okay. When may the remote PIC deviate from Part 107? Boom, boom, boom. It's only one time.
In emergency.
Thank you. Emergency. Only in an emergency. Okay. What events must be reported to the FAA within 10 days? A safety, yep, any safety issue, any safety event. What are the conditions on that safety event?
Cost more than $500.
Cost more than $500 worth of damage.
Consciousness.
Someone lost consciousness.
And it was your drone that technically caused the damage.
If it was your drone that caused the damage, correct. You have to report yourself. Tell on yourself. Okay. What are the maximum ground speed? What's the maximum ground speed? 87 knots or 100 miles an hour. What's the maximum altitude? Normally 400 feet. Unless what? Oh, y'all ready for y'all license, boy? Okay. All right. What are the cloud clearance visibility rules? 500 feet below what? The cloud above you? 2,000 feet horizontally. I know y'all won't forget that. Okay. What airspace requires prior authorization? What airspace requires prior authorization? Anything above G. Anything above G. Pretty much anything above G. Because your license is for G. Your license is for G. Okay? All right. Oh, we did it. Oh, we did it. Even with all the delays, we did it. Okay. So here we are. Woo, Lord. We got through it. Right on. Thank you. Oh, my God. All those technicalities. So, let's leave today knowing the rules, the limit, and who's responsible. The remote PIC is the person in charge. Who's part of the crew? Visual observers, right? Okay. When do you deviate from the rules of Part 107? In emergencies. If something happens, when do you have to file that? Report that. How many? 10 days? 10 days, 10 calendar days. What are the requirements for you to have to report that? Above $500. Someone lost consciousness. There was an injury, a serious harm. Woo, y'all good. What's the fastest we can fly? Okay, what's the highest we can fly? Unless, or, there we go. Okay, cloud visibility, how far below cloud? How far between? Okay, and who knows exactly where your drone is with remote ID? And who else? Pretty much, yeah. FAA, law enforcement, and other agencies. Excuse me. Okay. Wow. Okay. Hey y'all, I'm not gonna hold you. This really just how do I say this? I guess the only way to say it is, man, y'all impressed me today.
Let's take the test right now.
Y'all, I know, right? Y'all impressed me today. So that was a good chunk of questions. We got through a good chunk of very relevant, valuable questions that you will have to know forever, or at least for 2 years at a time, 3 years at a time, you know. So, is there any questions for today? How did you all feel about what we just went through? Was that good? That was good. Was that too fast? A little bit.
But I think with everyone
Okay, Atara, if you're still on, we'll make sure you get the right one, the right access to the right folder. Send us an email. I'm gonna put this in the chat right quick. All right. So just send the email here, because here's the thing, y'all. I am using the email you registered with. So please use a Gmail. That's the only way we can do it. And then we'll give you access and send you the invitation and notify you that we sent you the invitation. Okay. So we'll make sure everybody got it. Going forward, just a few announcements before we wrap it all the way up. There we go. I don't know why it's got me so close, but it's okay. We're just gonna rock and roll with it. So a couple of things. We'll do giveaways next week for today and for next week. Okay. So there'll be double giveaways for next week. The documentation that you have, we need you to sign, and is the first one is the code of conduct, participation in code of conduct. The other one you can fill out between now and next week, which is the participation for hands-on. It's a short test and a waiver signature, please. If you don't have that, let us know so you can have the hands-on time with the drones while we're here. And we'll be outdoors when we do our hands-on portion for this cohort. And then the media release, also, that is for Dolores Huerta, just one project, because we will be on camera. As you see, we got cameras set up. Next time you come in, we'll have more cameras set up. You'll be online with me. It'll be a whole thing. It's a whole thing. And then,
So make sure that they leave them here. Do not
yeah.
take these we need these. We need this and the first one.
Yep. So we need the code of conduct and the media release form. If you could leave those, that would be very helpful.
At the table.
Just those two?
Just these two.
For
Everything
now,
else is yours.
yeah. For now, everything else is yours because you have to take the test for the hands-on portion.
So these two right here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Correct. You got it, young man. And then for this one here, for this one here, if you could please you can watch the video, okay, and then we'll go through the questions in person together. All right, okay, and this is for the hands-on waiver. Just because drones are not necessarily dangerous, but they're not always safe. Excuse me. Now, let me see. Is there anything else I need to cover?
A few handouts if they want to take these.
Yep. So we have a few handouts so you can get prepared for the next class, study lab for hands-on portion. The handouts are here.
English and Spanish.
And then we have flyers, English and Spanish. Please share here on Instagram. We are at New Venture Hub. And on Facebook, it's the same, New Venture Hub. Please follow us there. In the future, if we have technical issues, we can just go live on Facebook instead of having to do any workarounds, okay? If there's something happens. At New Venture Hub, yes. At New Venture Hub, yes, sir. At New Venture Hub. Spelled as is. And then the last thing I have for everybody is real straightforward. We got 3 more weeks of this. In between, please use the share folder. I'm going to show you now. Bear with me. Let me show you right now. Okay. Let's see, rules. See, let's close this out. We got to go to the shared folder. And here we go. All right. So if you in your folders, in your share folders, here's all the information you're going to need. Today's class is right here in the center. Let me make that a little bigger. I'm sorry. All right, and then here, here, here. All right. So here, the diagrams are in here. We covered some of these today. We'll go back over them as needed. For those online, here's what we covered today. And then, hold on, exit.
Wait, do I bring this back next time? Because it says I have to watch some video.
Yeah. So just keep that for the next week. We can cover it together. What was I going to show y'all? I was showing y'all something in here. Oh, here we go. Wrong one. Wrong folder. Here we go. Must read. Also, last thing I want to mention before we wrap up class, vocabulary sheets are in the folder. Study guides, study guide sheet, study resources is right here. For continued training, FAA information, anything you're going to need for what we need from here, you're going to get it out of here. Here's a webinar on Part 107. It's not too bad to watch. Mastering Aeronautical Chart video series if you want to get ahead of reading maps. And then the rest of the information is pretty self-explanatory. But you can go right in here and get direct links to what you need, okay? We're not gatekeeping. The other thing you want to do is check out the vocabulary sheets. So the vocabulary lists in here are also going to be helpful for the tests. Some of this information, though, I need you all to study on your own because obviously in 2 hours we can't cover every single thing. So I ask you to come prepared. Will give you as much information as I can give you along the way. And the only thing I ask in exchange is for your participation, okay? Any questions for now until next week? Concerns? Okay. The only thing I have left for you is you will receive an email between tonight and Friday. It's only 5 questions. Those 5 questions will determine who gets put into our giveaway, our spin-off. We do like a spin just so y'all know who are new. We put your names in this wheel, and then it spins, and we always have stuff to give you, okay? And it can be useful, or it could just be delicious. But we have giveaways, okay? All right. Yeah, right? That'll work. If you don't have anything else for me, this is, yes, sir.
The email that I used to register is an Hotmail, so can I just send you a Gmail later on to get access to the carbons?
In fact, sir, if you don't mind, if you could just re-register with your Gmail, if you don't mind. If you didn't register with a Gmail, please just sign up with a Gmail for me, please. And boom, I got you. Yes. Thank you all, 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 thank you online. Thank you online.
Thank you, Michael.
Yeah, I appreciate everybody. Thanks for stopping in. I appreciate you bearing with us through technical difficulties. And I hope y'all like our new ambiance when you see it online, when you see the recording. Trying to make it more interactive. What's up, man?
I don't think that this registration per se. I mean, I just gave my name on the phone, but I can register in the NVHUB.
Oh, so if you don't mind, you have your phone, yeah?
I do.
You can go right to the website, bro. It's nvhub.net. Yes, sir. Thank you for participating. You too. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate y'all being here. Y'all catching on quick. I know that's right. Put your bros to work. Hey, thank y'all for stopping. Yeah, y'all grab whatever y'all want here. Just grab whatever. If y'all want to grab more, you can. Okay. Yeah, that's it. And I'll get it. And then I got you. Yeah. I got you.
Yeah, this is FAA Part 107.
And then we have
prep, right?
somebody.
Exam prep, yes, sir.